let us not forget the real reason that Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump's relationship disintegrated. According to Michael Wolff, who is the man to know, he was a biographer for Donald Trump. So when Donald Trump calls him a fucking liar, he lied for you then, asshole, because he did your biography. He did a lot of reporting on the Trump White House and Trump in general. Now Michael Wolff was going to be Jeffrey Epstein's biographer, and so he has over 100 hours of audio of him and Epstein talking. You can listen to I think almost all of that on the Fire and Fury podcast. Now, so ACN says, Wolf, now Epstein's explanation for why this friendship ended is as follows. In 2004, Epstein believed himself to be the high bidder on a piece of real estate in Palm Beach, a house. His bid was $36 million. He took his friend Trump around to see the house, to advise him on how he was going to move the swimming pool. Trump thereupon went around Epstein's back and bid $40 million for the house and got the property. Epstein, who was well acquainted and in fact deeply involved with Trump's scattered finances, understood that Trump didn't have the $40 million to pay for this house. Now, if that was the case, it was somebody else's $40 million. At the time, Epstein believed this to be the $40 million of a Russian oligarch by the name of Rybolovlev. God, I hate these fucking Russian names. Rybolovlev. Less than 2 years later, this same house that Trump had bought for $40 million was sold for $95 million. And it was, in fact, sold to Mr. Rybolovlev. Yeah. So Trump has been, working with the Russians for quite a long time. Like in this instance, helping them launder their money. So, come on. I want to talk about this recent Daily Beast report. They highlight a mysterious orange shape seen in prison surveillance footage near Jeffrey Epstein's cell the night he died. While the Department of Justice claims that the blurry figure was a corrections officer carrying linen, forensic video experts who spoke with CBS News believe it was more likely a person in an inmate jumpsuit. Duh. This is the latest development in a case with several inconsistencies that have fueled conspiracy theories for years. So the details surrounding the mystery person. In late July of 2025, the Daily Beast reported on a new CBS investigation into Epstein's death. The CBS analysis, which included video forensic specialists, raised new doubts about the DOJ's official review of Epstein's death. According to the report, a mysterious orange shape was seen moving up the stairs toward Epstein's cell block at approximately 10:40 p.m. on August 9th of 2019. A DOJ report claimed that this figure was a correctional officer with supplies. However, forensics expert Connor McCourt told CBS that based on the limited video, it was more likely a person in an orange uniform, suggesting it could have been an inmate. The last recorded movement in the direction of Epstein's cell was this orange figure. Some other details about that. The missing video. In late of July 2025, the Daily Beast also reported that the FBI now has a copy of Epstein's prison tape that contains the missing minute, not included in the raw footage released by the DOJ. This has prompted further questions about why it was edited out and why. Also, there's an inmate count discrepancy. In August of 2025, Yahoo News reported on claims from investigative journalist Declan Hill that there was an extra prisoner counted on Epstein's wing at 10 p.m., but that this ghost count was called a mistake by the DOJ. They don't make mistakes at count, okay? Every fucking day you have an institutional count at 4 p.m., and you have to stand up next to your bed, shut up, while they walk by and count. And some of them use their little clickers, and they'll count the whole area. And then they talk to the other person, if they got the same count, like, okay, yeah, and then they look at the log, see if that's the proper count, and only then will they write it down, sign it, and call it in to control. And then control gets the individual counts from all the different cell blocks, and then control tallies that count, compares it to their inmate population, and only when they figure out that everybody is accounted for do they finally clear their institutional count. And sometimes you stand for count at 4 p.m. and sometimes it takes 5:30, 6 o'clock for them to clear count. They take their count very seriously in the Federal Bureau of fucking Prisons. So that's bullshit. Not only is this is all bullshit, okay? The inmate count discrepancy, that is a big red flag. They don't fuck with their institutional counts. Malfunctioning cameras is another big red flag. Their cameras don't break down. Not in the Federal Bureau of Prisons. On the night Epstein died, the 2 cameras outside his cell malfunctioned. Footage from a 3rd camera was found unusable, according to officials. Shucky darn. And then also, guards fell asleep? 2 guards assigned to check on Epstein that night fell asleep for about 3 hours and then falsified records to cover their actions. I don't know. In the video that they released, I poured through all of it, frame by frame, and a lot of it was suspicious. But also, the lack of movement. You could see what the last time the officers walked to their desk, and then there was no movement for hours. And that in itself is unusual because you have to go around and do at least a walking, head count and at least a welfare check like every 30 minutes, like every hour at the very outside, every hour. But lots of officers go every 30 minutes, sometimes every 15 minutes. And if you're on suicide watch, that could be every 5 to 15 minutes. They have to come by and check. And if they don't just want to see your body, they want you to move your foot or something so they can see that you're alive. They take this stuff very seriously. They're trained to do that. So, yeah, there's all these inconsistencies. It's all a bunch of bullshit. There's a lot of things to really have questions about. The guards falling asleep. And then previous cellmate. Just before his death, Epstein's cellmate, former police officer Nicholas Tartaglione, was transferred out of his cell. A lawyer for Epstein later claimed that Epstein told him Tartaglione had caused an injury to his neck. But Tartaglione was ultimately cleared of any wrongdoing. Yeah, I don't know. Nope, I'm not buying it. Anyway, I'm gonna do a Daily Beast article on the mystery 3rd person in a second. You guys have a good day. It's all a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, he was murdered. I believe he was murdered. And they're just, having done so much time in the Federal Bureau of Prisons, I know how they operate. I really do. And this is just, nope, the math ain't mathin' here, folks.